Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Mina, your favorite Pisces astrologer, back with another fun compatibility video where we're going to rank the air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius in terms of how they rank romantically with Scorpio. Of course, we're going to start at the bottom of the list. And please keep in mind, this is an entertainment purposes mostly video. This is a lighthearted discussion, not meant to be taken too seriously. As a professional astrologer, when we sit down to do compatibility readings, whether it's synastry or composite, we look at so many data points, not just two signs. So keep that in mind. Yet there is some good information here to learn from. And yes, we're all really curious about Scorpio, and if you haven't checked it out, I did a compatibility video like this with all the water signs for Scorpio. I'm going to put that up here. I'm going to get through all the elements eventually. So yes, Scorpio is a fascinating sign because they're fixed water. They're ruled by Mars and Pluto. They're feminine, and they really are associated with people who grab on, they hold on romantically, and of course as attractive in today's society. With everything we romanticize in the media, we want long-lasting relationships. So of course we're going to be looking at Scorpio if you're into astrology. But anyway, which air sign ranks last on my list? Before I say this, I do want to say that all of the air signs will be somewhat of a struggle with Scorpio in general, because Scorpio most of the time is looking for an emotional connection because they're of the element water. And through their lens, through their eyes, they will perceive all the air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius alike, as a little bit cold, a little bit detached, a little bit light, a little bit too logical sometimes when it comes to romantic connection. I want to preface saying that. Yet, of course, do these couples happen? Yeah. And there are some fun stuff about all of them. But in my opinion, which it is just my opinion, which sign is at the bottom? And I might get some hate for this, but Gemini. I put Gemini at the bottom in terms of Scorpio compatibility because they are so flighty. They are so change focused. They change so much. And of course, with Scorpio being fixed, that can be really hard to, get to know someone and really hard to understand them on a deep psychological level, and very hard to understand where they're going. When you're a Gemini and you change so much, you're mutable air, you're ruled by Mercury, which is the most logical planet, yet the most young planet in my opinion. It is often linked to the human experience. A lot of astrologers say that Gemini, in a way, are the most basic human signs because humans are very curious and social creatures, and Gemini really does express that well. They are all about many experiences, meaning various little experiences. They just want to obtain everything. They're little curiosity machines, and their weapon is being a social chameleon and using language, using words to play around with people and situations. They really are brilliant. They're fascinating. But when it comes to romance, I truly think out of all the signs in the zodiac, they are the hardest to pin down if you're looking for a long-term monogamous relationship. If you're a little bit more open, you could do fine with a Gemini. If you want a lot of certainty, like Scorpios tend to want, Gemini will be hard. Yet, is their chemistry off the charts? Yes, because Gemini is just a really attractive energy. They are very interesting to talk to. They never shut up, so they always have something to say. And yes, this can be overwhelming for Scorpio because Scorpios tend to be a little bit more introverted, a little bit more quiet at first. Yet, I do think that they find Gemini's intellect very spicy, and just that they're always up to something. And I think to a degree, Scorpios are sensitive and attracted to things that give them a dopamine rush because they are ruled by Mars. So they really do like to feel alive when it comes to romance, and Gemini can stir something up in them for sure. The problem here is that they're two of the most brilliant players in the game in terms of romance. Gemini will catch on that Scorpio is trying to figure them out, even if they don't give this away. And instead of running away from that, and instead of honestly answering that desire, they will play around often. They will be like, let me win this mind game. Let me figure them out first, and this is going to be a whole lot of fun. I'm going to play around with this. And it's like a cat and mouse game that's very attractive, has a lot of sexual and romantic chemistry for sure. And Scorpio, for sure, is going to really want to see if Gemini is being authentic. And of course, they will see that Gemini is trying to figure them out as well. And one thing that they will pinpoint about Gemini is that, especially if the Gemini breaks their heart, we'll know that Gemini people are word people. And the best way to hurt a Gemini's feelings is to cut them with words. And if Scorpio feels played, if they figure out that Gemini is just playing with them, they will use that same sword that Gemini loves to use against people and cut them down. It won't be a pretty ending here between both people. And Gemini will be like, hey, why so serious? I thought this was just for fun. Of course, this is an oversimplification, but this is a very dramatic couple, a very stimulating couple, which makes it kind of dangerous. I've seen this go bad a lot, yet very exciting. They're both a big mystery to each other. Scorpio loves a good mystery, and Gemini is intrigued by a mystery and likes to play around with mysteries. So yeah, I think, Gemini is just too hard to pin down, and Scorpio will try to pin you down with their little stinger. Yet your little butterfly wings will dodge every single move that they try to make. And yeah, I just think the change oriented nature of Gemini being a mutable sign is just too much. And ultimately, Scorpios do want an everlasting commitment. So I do not like this pair personally. Yet again, I do think it works, especially if the Scorpio is kind of wild and they don't want to change, then Gemini is going to be the perfect, fun thing for you, Scorpio. If you're just like a wild, young Scorpio, have some fun. And if you always want to have fun, stay with your Gemini. And, I think Gemini can also feel oppressed because they will kind of understand that Scorpio gets irritated when they change it up. So, yeah, it could just be really unstable here. And I think it does work best if the Gemini has some water energy, square to Pisces or a neighboring planet in Cancer. They can offer Scorpio a couple of drops of water, if you know what I mean. So who is number 2? I swear this is not a cop-out, but I genuinely think that Libra and Aquarius are tied for number 1. It was so hard to pick who's number 1 out of the air signs, again, because they're all challenging for Scorpio romantically. So let me state my case for Libra first. Libra is ruled by Venus. They are masculine. They're cardinal air. So Scorpio being ruled by Mars and Pluto, this will be almost like a traditional pairing because Libra's Venus, Scorpio's a Mars. They'll have a pretty good flow with chasing and being receptive. It's a very classic pair in some ways, even though it's traditionally not so much. I think the best part about this pair is that they flow together with that Venus and Mars energy. And also, the reason why Aquarius and Libra are number 1 and not Gemini is that they can give Scorpio a taste of forever. That's a Scorpio buzzword, forever. They have the potential for long-term relationship in general. Libra, because they are the sign of partnership, they really are serious about relationships. They love connecting with people, and they love being in a partnership romantically is just very satisfying for them. They prefer to be with a partner rather than be alone a lot of the time. And Scorpio, of course, Libras are all pretty, and I'm not just talking about the girls, I'm talking about the guys and the theys. They're very aesthetically pleasing, so come on, Scorpio's just a human. They'll love pretty Libra. And Of course, Libra will be so flattered to be obsessively wanted by Scorpio's fixed energy. Like, Libra's going to be super happy with this. They love being that object of desire for someone. And for someone who can, like, keep that desire strong with fixed, steady energy, I mean, Libra will be very happy with this. I think where Scorpio will have problems with Libra is that they're going to figure out that Libra's kind of different depending on who they're with, because they are very much so a mirror in terms of talking to people. They reflect other people's energy. It's really hard for them to figure out who they are away from other people, and Scorpio will pick up on this because they're very good at profiling people. So they'll be like, who is Libra? Who are they really? Are they the real them with me? Or is this other version of them the real them? This will kind of torment Scorpio. And of course, they like a position of power in a relationship, so they're going to want Libra to listen to them the most rather than be influenced by friends, because Libra's so social. Scorpio's a little bit more introverted and private. Of course, that's going to be a cause of tension. And Libra also will, they're masculine, so they are more aggressive than people realize. And where you can get Libra really aggressive is if you speak very black and white and definitively, it can make them very defensive. So Scorpio's black and white view of the world can really irritate them because they're all about finding middle ground in things. And they always want things and hot topics to be a discussion, not an absolution. So Libra can get really tired of Scorpio just holding on to their version of how things played out, their narrative, and not being open to see someone else's point of view. Libra will feel like silenced in that way. And I think they will feel a little oppressed socially because they're, in general, more social than Scorpio. And of course, Libras can be a little bit flirty, which all the air signs can, because they just are too busy running their mouth and connecting with people. Love you guys. But yeah, this can irritate Scorpio because they can be kind of possessive. Yet, why does Libra give Scorpio the forever potential? Because they themselves can have Scorpio in their chart, because that's the neighboring sign. They can even have a Pluto in Libra for that generation. There's a lot of ways this can play out to where they are quite Scorpionic themselves very commonly. So they could be thinking the same things about you, Scorpio. If they have Scorpio in their chart, they could be like, does Scorpio actually like me? Or do they like the idea of me? Do they like what I'm projecting to them? Can they see the real me? Do they want to be with me forever? They want to keep your attention on them, Scorpio, because Libras just have to be adored, especially by the romantic partner. They do not like to have competition in that area either. Again, they're a masculine sign. So yeah, they can be thinking similar things, and there can be identity crisis between both of them. They really just want to know who each other is and how secure the relationship is. And that is kind of endearing in a way. And that's why this works out. And yeah, Libra can have Scorpio in their chart, so they could be on the same page for that forever mentality in relationships. A little hot topic I want to say about Libra and Scorpio is that they both want the supreme sexual power in the relationship. And they can have some interesting power struggles because of this. Libra has to be the most pretty, and Scorpio has to be the most alluring, and it can get nasty, but it keeps the chemistry hot. All right, now let me talk about the case for Aquarius as being tied with Libra for number one. Maybe they even have a slight edge. I don't know. Tell me what you think in the comments. Aquarius is ruled by Sirius Saturn, which is low-key a control freak planet, just like Scorpio is a little bit of a control freak with Pluto and Mars. That's big boss energy. So they share that. And they also share the fixed modality. So that built in is a stubborn, set personality, hard to change them, and wanting something long-lasting. The difference is between the long-lasting stuff is that Aquarius really has to be friends with you first in general before they commit romantically. Yet when they do commit, it's a pretty rock solid commitment, I would say. With them being ruled by Sirius Saturn. And what are they serious about? They're serious about the air stuff, their ideas, especially their social ideas, their ideas about society, their ideas about culture, their ideas about how the world should be. It's very idealistic and very political too. So they really like to be the people that influence others, not the other way around. Yet, if anyone can influence an Aquarius, it's their best friend. Their friend circle is so important to them. So, as you could see, this will be a really amazing cat and mouse game. I think almost bigger than the Gemini Scorpio cat and mouse game, because Scorpio loves to have a special position in their romantic partner's lives. And if they see that they can be the first in any area, so the first romantic partner that can influence you, they'll be like, game on, baby. So as much as Aquarians can be contrarian and they're going to tell Scorpio, hey, this is who I am, they're going to be pushing back on ideas, this will not stop Scorpio from wanting to transform you, Aquarius. They have to have some unique position in your psyche. So they will try to influence you on something, but this is a good sign. It means they're into you. But yeah, this can be really steamy because of that, because each person has strong ideas and values, and Aquarius will not back down from talking about it. And I think that because Scorpio can sense that Aquarians are serious about their relationships in general, friendships and romance alike, and that they're very consistent in their character, it feels safe to get to know them, because even though there's things that push them away, there's a lot of consistency, and that makes a Scorpio put their guard down a little bit. Yes, it will bug you, Scorpio, that Aquarians really do rationalize, intellectualize their feelings rather than feel them. I almost think that Aquarians feel selfish for feeling their feelings. Like, that's an experience that's just not humanitarian. It's not really, it's just self-serving. Okay, it's like Leo behavior, which is their opposite. So I think that that will bug you, and you're going to want to get them to feel their damn feelings, and maybe you'll succeed, who knows. But yeah, I also think that there's a reliability here, again, with them both being fixed, and that's great for Scorpio. So again, there's a lot of long-term potential and reliability, and also the humanitarian streak that Aquarians have in them will be perceived as something deep. Even though it's not water deep, it's deep in its own right, in a special, unique way. And they will think that that selfless part of Aquarius is really beautiful. So yeah, I think that there will be power struggles, but hey, that can create sexual chemistry, right? This is a square, and it will probably be better if Aquarius has a Pisces planet or two, because that's the neighboring sign that can meet Scorpio in the water dimension. And even if the Scorpio has some Sag in them, because Aquarius and Sag is a power couple, love them so much. So yeah, the loyalty. I think that bossy Aquarius being ruled by Saturn is a really great thing for Scorpio. Like, they really think Aquarians are loyal, and that can kind of make them calm down if they don't feel like they get that emotional connection. I've actually seen a lot of Aquarius and Scorpio couples, and I love them so much. They're so respectful of each other's freedom, which I think Scorpio, even if you can't have power over your Aquarius, they're going to let you stay in your own lane and retain your power, because out of all the signs in the zodiac, Aquarius people are really the best at allowing and giving someone the gift romantically of just being themselves. Just be yourself. So it's like you're two powerful countries and you won't mess with each other because you really respect each other's power, almost like you're equals, I think. So in that way, it can be really great and a really long-lasting connection here, even though that there are obvious differences, and mostly that's elemental differences and social battery differences. Another thing I love about Libra and Aquarius for Scorpio is the ability to go dark, because Scorpio, being a feminine sign and being ruled by two heavy planets, Mars and Pluto, can be kind of nasty sometimes. They really can enjoy very negative conversations, And I think Libra is down to talk about anything. They can be very impartial and just allow someone to talk. Maybe they won't have a lot of personal input, but they will give you the space to talk about these heavy things. But of course, they'll have a cutoff point because they are ruled by Venus and they love to retain the peace. And too much darkness, there's no peace in that for a Libra. And Aquarius is kind of detached from their emotions, so they can also talk. I mean, their air sign, they're always talking. They can really talk about dark stuff with Scorpio too, and maybe find something interesting there that they can also enjoy. They won't shut a Scorpio down. And Saturn's a little bit of a negative Nancy. They're ruled by Saturn, so it's all good. And they're very open-minded with the modern ruler being Uranus. So the open-mindedness in terms of accepting that negative part of Scorpio is definitely there and definitely noticed and valued by Scorpio. All right, everyone, I hope you love this video. It was so fun for me to make, straight from the heart, straight from the brain. Let me know what you think in the comments. I always love reading your experiences and answering your good questions. Not all the questions, but some of your questions are amazing, and I appreciate them so much. I will see you in the next one. Bye.